Hello student, now again we are starting with is matter around us pure, the second part. Now in this part we are going to study the processes of separation. In this we will study the process of evaporation, sublimation, centrifugation, separating funnel, distillation, fractional distillation, crystallization, chromatography and electrolysis. Now the first process is evaporation. This method is used for separating a volatile component from a non-volatile component by heating the mixture. Volatile component means the one which changes into vapor state, and non-volatile component means which do not change into vapor state. For example, ink is a mixture of a dye and water. If some ink is heated in a dish, the water evaporates and the dye is left in this dish. This means water is a volatile component whereas dye is non-volatile component. Similarly, we can separate a mixture of salt and water or sugar and water by evaporation. When we put the mixture of salt and water in a china dish and heat the solution, the water will evaporate as water vapors, leaving behind salt there only. In this way, the salt and water has been separated by the process of evaporation. The second one is your decantation using separating funnel. This method is used for separating a mixture of immiscible liquid. Immiscible liquids are those liquids which cannot be mixed up. Liquids separates into two different layers depending upon their densities. If we take a mixture of kerosene oil and water in a separating funnel, it forms separate layers of oil and water. The water can be separated by opening the stopcock. After the water flows out, the stopcock can be closed. In this way, the two immiscible liquids can be separated out. The next process is our centrifugation. The method of separating denser particles and lighter particles from a mixture by using a centrifuging machine is called centrifugation. If we take some milk in a centrifuging machine and spin it rapidly, the cream separates from the milk because cream is less dense than milk. So it comes up and can be steamed out and separated from rest of the mixture. Next one is our sublimation. This method is used to separate a mixture of sublimable component from a non-sublimable component by heating the mixture. Sublimable components are those components which directly changes into gases or the gases directly change into solid. If a mixture of ammonium chloride, here the ammonium chloride is your sublimate and common salt, which is a non-sublimate component, is heated, the ammonium chloride sublimes, that is changed into gaseous form and can be cooled and solidified and collected, and the salt is left behind. In this way, the component which are sublimates can be separated by the process of sublimation from a non-sublimable component. Next is chromatography. This method is used for separating colored component from a liquid by using a filter paper or blotting paper. Put a drop of ink near one end of a strip of filter paper and dip the end of the paper in the test tube containing water. Ink is a mixture of two or more colored component. The component which is more soluble in water rises faster, and in this way we get separate different components of the ink by the method of chromatography. Next is distillation. This method is used for separating a mixture of miscible liquids by boiling the mixtures and cooling and condensing the vapors. Simple distillation. It is used for separating a mixture of two miscible liquids having sufficient difference in their boiling point. If a mixture of acetone and water is heating in a distillation apparatus, the acetone, which has lower boiling point than water, first boil and cools and condense and is separated from the water. In this way, those miscible liquid which get mixed up having sufficient difference in their boiling point can be separated by the process of distillation. In this category, we are also having fractional distillation. It is used for separating a mixture of two or more miscible liquids whose difference in boiling point is less than 25 Kelvin. In this, a apparatus used for fractional distillation is similar to that used for simple distillation, except that a fractional column is fitted between the distillation flask and condenser. The fractionating column has a glass beads which increases the surface of the vapors to cool and condense. Fractional distillation is used for separating the component of petroleum, separating the different gases from the air, etc. Separation of the different components of the air. The air is a mixture of gases, we know. The component of the air can be separated by fractional distillation. First, the air is compressed and cooled by increasing the pressure and decreasing the temperature, and the gaseous air is changed into liquid air. Then this liquid air is allowed to warm up slowly in the fractional distillation column, and the gases get separated at different heights with the boiling points. For example, oxygen boils at minus 183 degrees Celsius, argon minus 186, and nitrogen at 196 degrees Celsius. Now, there is a purification of solid by the crystallization process. This is the process of obtaining a pure solid in the form of crystal from its solution. By crystallization, we can obtain pure copper sulfate from its solution. Dissolve about 5 grams of copper sulfate in minimum amount of water. Filter the solution to remove the impurities. Evaporate the solution in a china dish to get a saturation solution. Cover the solution with a filter paper and allow to cool. Pure copper sulfate crystals are formed. Now we have known that what are compounds. Compound is a substance composed of two or more elements chemically combined together in a fixed ratio. And here are the difference between mixtures and compounds. Now we know that we have a pure substances, and pure substances are of following types: elements and compounds. Element is the basis form of matter which cannot be broken down into simpler substances by chemical reactions. Elements are of three types: metal, non-metals, and metalloids. So metals are those elements which have lusters. They are malleable and ductile. They are good conductor of heat and electricity. They are sonorous. Non-metals do not have luster. They are not malleable or ductile. They are poor conductors of heat and electricity, and they are not sonorous. Metalloids have some properties of metals as well as non-metals, as discussed earlier. There are two types of changes: physical change and chemical change. The change in which only transformation of state is happened, no new substance is made, are called physical change, and these changes are reversible changes. For example, melting of ice, the ice changes into water, and again on cooling the water also changes into ice. Therefore, this is your physical change. Next one is your chemical change. It is a change in which a new substance is made. In this change, the chemical properties of the substance is changed, and this is due to the chemical reaction. These changes are irreversible. For example, cooking of food, we can't reverse this process. Burning of paper, but the burning of a candle is both physical as well as chemical change. By this chapter has been completed. Thank you.